So I'm going to read work that is mostly new, I suppose. And I'm going to start with one called How to Make a Chickpea Salad. I had a curry last night you could start a car with. The bananas confused me. I portaged them through green gravy to safer shores. The waitress brought a full tub of sour cream. I was starting to feel dizzy. There was no meat, thankfully, which I no longer consume. Your dance card is full, you would say, and I would laugh, not knowing what you mean. Headache surrounded by opportunity. Did you ever notice how we enable each other's pointless labors? Why should either of us pretend we can make a chickpea salad worth eating? My father, who's a philosopher, and he is still alive actually.
Good.
He had a Latin phrase that he often said during my childhood, which has indelibly sort of found a place in my brain, and that is de gustibus nanis disputantum, which means in the matter of taste there is no dispute. So I'm presently trying to put together a poem about lexical gustatory synesthesia.
Oh, wow.
And what that is people who read or hear words and experience taste from those words. I have a colleague actually who has shared some things with me. So I've got two poems in that vein, and one is titled, for the moment anyway, after that Latin maxim, de gustibus non est disputandum. Finally, a phrase that leaves the slab tongue flat as, no, not as a pancake, different state of matter entirely, just flat and mercifully bland. Do I have a twin out there who tastes her words in Latin? On the page, in the ear, does Latin loop knots of flavored saliva around her lingua? Somewhere between watermelon and a slice of tomato, every question tastes fresh, watery red. But word itself is Chef Boyardee, ABCs in sauce. You may ascertain a certain logic here. Baloney, I dissuade your efforts. This is called Meat-Flavored Words. Fight is roast beef served in slices, wounded and walked in, dripping bloody jus. I recall how meat tasted. It tasted good. Not tonight, you say. I'm easy. Tonight is a flexible beef word. Talk, talk, talk. 3 boiled potatoes in butter and salt. Possible alternatives wilting on my plate. Please, you say, the cheese congealing on the pizza. Think of yourself. Lima beans, in other words, a cold buttered toast waste of time. So another book that I brought along with me that is available, if anyone's interested, is a very old chapbook called Remembered Earth 2, which was published by Bywards long before Charles and Amanda took it on. And I'm embarrassed to say that I have a box of these that I found in my basement. It's very bad. But this has poems by Heather Ferguson, Marty Floman,
wow.
Glenn Rochin, all kinds of people that whose names I'm sure you would be familiar with. So if you're interested, again, I can put one of these in your hands if you like. Where the Horizon Meets the Sky, for Ishan Kanungo. Each afternoon you were looked for, awaited. Each sunset as day cast turmeric light into wind and seeded the clouds with shimmers of spice. When it rained, you seemed in each drop, and suddenly rosewater filled the house with scent, spooning itself over the air like a dessert. Your mother uncurled in the incense of your coming, moved her hands through the swirling motions she knew were you, as she knew her own breath. She spoke words that had never left her body before, so utterly changed your presence in all, in mango, in curry, in window, in tree. She began thinking of the Himalayas and of how it is said that once every 1,000 years there flies over a solitary bird with a scarf in its beak, brushing the granite ranges as it passes. The Himalayas, they say, will be worn away like this, and only a single day will have elapsed in the mind of God. What she found was a limit as artificial as the senses, as undiscovered as your features, moments before your birth. She found the fine line where the horizon meets the sky, saw it in the brown-blue iris of your eyes, so new to clay and soaring. She named you for that margin and for what lies beyond. This one is called Compost and has some reflections, I think, about mortality. At least that's what I was trying to achieve. Poems don't always obey one's wishes, of course. Dirt discourses with the hedonist, the wallower, cry-baby tears hot for lost stem cells, secret stash of marrows, sweet spot of putrefaction. In the final stage, everything is liquid, but dirt dines on chunky obsolescence, eczema-baked hands, and well-marbled thighs tumbled in grass. True compost, of course, is a vegetable matter. It doesn't evolve me. Yet that backyard aerobic calendar of demise recalls, sweet silage smell apart, the way of all flesh, doesn't it? Avuncular dirt diable, corruption's functionary. Walk me under your yawned brown awning, deeper and darker, transitive verb conversant with the motherlode. Your newest a customer, groping for songs and her glasses. Your people will be my people. A couple of years ago, I read at a conference on Alperdi, the University of Ottawa, a grouping of 3 poems that I called Good People. And this is the middle one, based on a story of where I grew up. The West End Widows of Sault Ste. Marie. Along with Italian newspapers and everyone here, Luciano Pavarotti's wife denied reports that he was screwing his secretary. He might leave home for a bowl of pasta, but for a woman, never. Privately lambasting that wheezing, whining, mealy-mouthed, scuttling, abject, sycophantic singer-man in flawless dialect. I consider my face my best feature, as it was from the first moment I poised the jar on my head and walked out of his gaze in our Calabrian village. Though early on in his forever absence, I was persuaded by Marla, the banker's widow, to claim recompense for line-drawn years of endless tending, zucchini, tomatoes, grapes, 4 walls, and children. To be living art on human tissue, redraped by that young doctor, a short plane ride away. Grazia told me, and I have no evidence by which to presume her a liar, that Rosaria bought rubies red as raspberries for her ears and will come with us to the casino Saturday night. Dwindled into wives, we are becoming women again. Here's another piece in what I envision will ultimately be a kind of collection of poems based on other people's lives, anecdotes, etc. And this is from a letter, from a series of letters written to my grandparents during the Second World War. They were in Saskatchewan and had family in Germany, and sent sort of contraband care packages. Anyway, it's a fascinating story, but this is a letter, loose translation of a translation from the German, called Dear Xavier, Xavier being my grandfather's name, Lieber Xavier, Kittersburg, 1st of December, 1927. Before the old year ends, your father sends these few lines. We are in good health. I should say this first. We hope the same for you, though we have not heard. The last year gave us good times and bad, health year-round, and only 1 calf born dead. In summer there was rain, torrential, a straight grey beating. Still, the people had bread, and the animals food. From the high fields came potatoes and red and white beets. 9 cars of our cabbage steamed away from the Bahnhof. 4 Deutschmarks per ton, the best cabbage year ever. Then came hail, the tobacco crop battered. Some farmers escaped, but for us there was no mercy. We couldn't sell such leaves, grim, tattered flags. I hope you will write soon how you made out last year. Der Mutti presses your words to her heart. Only 2 short letters, these 2 long years. Your little sister haunts the post box, a hopeful phantom. All of the neighbors are mystified. You have to admit, it is not very kind to forget your family so easily. Your brother Wilhelm asks every 2 weeks if we didn't receive a letter from Canada. Shaking our heads, we are always just shaking our heads. Wilhelm got another child this year, a girl, Anna Maria, healthy and well. Martin and Ida and Erwin are fine. You must have forgotten them all. Last October, Franz Leibel's letter said at the end of his lines you would add a few, but we couldn't see nothing from Xaver. Even Wilhelm couldn't find a trace. Last Saturday there was a terrible accident. Mayor Clem of Goldschauer, you remember his son? As boys you bought bicycles for 10,000 Deutschmarks, money piled like dirt in the wheelbarrow. This boy, your friend, left the cabbage market at Lahr, and coming home at night met a steamroller at high speed. His shying horse threw him, and he was flattened, died instantly. A Tuesday never saw so many people in our graveyard. The pastry cook, Emil Schaefer, visited our village and came one day to our place. He told about his trips overseas in a steamship. In China, they couldn't dock, having explosives on board. He said he would never stay for good in another place because there isn't a more beautiful country than Germany. He sends his hello. Mutti worries for your shirts and socks, how they look with her needle so far away. She wonders, do you have a girl in mind to marry? But then she still believes you will return sooner or later, a bachelor, her blue-eyed boy. So this is everything, and soon it will be Christmas. May the good God find you healthy and happy this blessed season. Regards from all of us, also from the neighbors, also from the grandmother in Sundheim who thinks of you daily. Give our Christmas greeting to Franz and the family Leibel. We hope you will write soon and tell us how you are, your father. This one is called, quite a different subject matter, How Long? How long would you have waited for me to look up from the institution of marriage, etc.? The last spring rococo tulip closed, forever closed it must seem. Bud pointed like a closed mouth to some importunate, silent question. A place I never was, so much as the split-level attention spanning now and the rest of this dust collection. Inarticulate psyche parting the curtains of strange, striding out like an actress pretending to be serious. Reprehensible, this scallywag nostalgia. Sense and sentence tumbling in soaked sheets, the bathed paper rituals of probable outcomes and comely possibilities, I descant to a chandelier piety, fingering my own innocence with a pervert's careful pleasure. Revenge. This is based on a true story. Dead roses are hard to kill. Betrayal of brown stalks, hollow spiked flutes of bygone bee music. They sense your fury, scoff at that insufferable prima donna sun, coaxing grubs from black, loamy beds. Done with roses forever, or so she thinks. Blunt and brutish they look, beside the chartreuse points of iris qui pousse. Bulbous their roots, big as thighs wedged in earth. The hoe bends and snaps off clean, and still the roots grip, hissing oaths, malevolent. Who would have thought that beauty could come to this? Your desperate hack at the hollow stalk, tears of rage, grime in the corners of your eyes.
Wow.
I'll end on a lighter note with two short pieces from the chapbook. Oops. Bear with me here. Okay. Pickup. Picked me up on a birdshit bank. Towel hot sun and good cheese on my thigh. Told him no, like the inside of a can. Shiny edges sharp. He tried to kiss. Ha! I rolled around the world. Puppy licked my face. Glass in my smile. Laughed into green bits. And the last one, I'll close on this. Fish dinner for one on the Baltic Sea. The herring on my plate said, "Watch out for the sweet mustard sauce, it might make you sick." I didn't listen. The table rose like a gentleman under my plate. My curtsy was a mess. Thank you.